A few years back, I was chatting with an old fleet manager who ran over 200 trucks for a shipping company. I asked how he kept fuel costs so low when diesel prices were crushing everyone else in the industry. He leaned in like he was about to share a secret, and he told me that most drivers burn 30% more fuel than they need, not because their engines are bad, but because they have never been taught how fuel actually works. That sentence changed everything for me. Most of us treat fuel like water from a tap. We pour it in, we burn it, we complain about prices, and we never think twice about what is actually happening inside that engine. But once you understand the science behind combustion and a few tricks mechanics and engineers have known for decades, you can squeeze significantly more miles out of every gallon without changing your car, without buying expensive additives, and without sacrificing performance. Today, I am going to share that knowledge with you. I promise by the end of this you will look at your gas gauge very differently. Let us start with the fundamental truth that nobody teaches you. Your engine does not actually run on gasoline. It runs on vaporized gasoline mixed with air in a very precise ratio. When that mixture is perfect, combustion is clean, powerful, and efficient. When it is off, even by a small margin, you are literally watching money evaporate out of your tailpipe. The ideal ratio is approximately 14.7 parts air to 1 part fuel. Too much fuel, and it does not all burn, wasting energy and coating your engine with carbon deposits. Too little fuel and the combustion runs hot, potentially damaging valves and catalytic converters. Your car computer constantly adjusts this mixture based on sensor readings. But most people do not realize that those sensors can be fooled, they can get dirty, and they can read conditions that are not optimal for efficiency. Understanding this opens up a world of simple adjustments that make your engine sip fuel instead of gulping it. The first trick is something so basic that it's almost embarrassing how few people do it. Check your tire pressure every 2 weeks. I know, you've heard this before, but let me explain why it matters more than you think. Underinflated tires create rolling resistance, which is basically your car fighting against itself with every rotation. Studies have shown that for every pound per square inch your tires are below the recommended pressure, you lose about 0.2% in fuel efficiency. That doesn't sound like much until you realize most people are running 5 to 10 pounds per square inch low without knowing it. That's 1 to 2% of your fuel being wasted constantly. Over a year of driving, that adds up to hundreds of dollars thrown away because you didn't spend 2 minutes at the air pump. And here's the part nobody tells you. The pressure listed on your tire sidewall is the maximum, not the target. The correct pressure for your specific car is on a sticker inside the driver's door jamb. That's the number you want. I've seen people run their tires at 44 pounds per square inch because that's what the tire said, when their car actually called for 32 pounds per square inch. They wondered why the ride was harsh, and the center of their tread wore out in half the time. Check the door, not the tire. The second trick involves something sitting right under your hood that most people never touch between oil changes: the air filter. A clogged air filter is like trying to run a marathon while breathing through a coffee stirrer. Your engine needs massive amounts of AIR to burn fuel with efficiency. When that filter gets dirty, the engine compensates by running richer, meaning it adds more fuel to maintain power. The result is wasted gas and increased carbon buildup. I've tested this myself. Swapping a visibly dirty filter for a fresh one improved my fuel economy by nearly 8% on a 15-year-old sedan. That's not a typo. 8%. The filter cost $12. It paid for itself in less than 2 tanks. The general recommendation is to replace it every 12,000 to 15,000 miles. But if you drive on dusty roads or in heavy traffic, cut that interval in half. And here is a pro tip. Hold the filter up to a bright light. If you cannot see light passing through the pleats, it is time for a new one, regardless of mileage. Now let's talk about something that sounds counterintuitive but is backed by solid engineering. Slow down your acceleration. I'm not saying drive like a grandma, but the way you press that gas pedal has an enormous impact on fuel consumption. When you floor it from a stoplight, the engine dumps extra fuel to meet your demand for instant power. That is called enrichment, and it is incredibly wasteful. The sweet spot is a gradual, steady acceleration that keeps the engine in its most efficient revolutions per minute range, typically between 1,500 and 2,500 revolutions per minute for most gasoline engines. Some modern cars even have economy indicators on the dashboard that show you when you are driving efficiently. Pay attention to them. They are not just decorations. I knew a guy who challenged himself to keep that indicator in the green zone for an entire month. His fuel costs dropped by nearly 20%, and he said his driving actually became less stressful because he stopped racing to every red light. The fuel you save by accelerating smoothly is fuel you literally keep in your tank. Here is another secret that sounds almost too simple. Use cruise control on the highway. Human beings are terrible at maintaining consistent speeds. We speed up, slow down, react to traffic, get distracted by podcasts, and constantly modulate the throttle without realizing it. Every one of those micro adjustments burns extra fuel. Cruise control maintains a steady throttle position, which keeps combustion consistent and efficient. The only exception is hilly terrain, where cruise control tends to accelerate aggressively to maintain speed going uphill. In those conditions, it is actually more efficient to let your speed drop naturally on climbs and regain it on descents. But on flat stretches, cruise control is your wallet's best friend. Let me share something that surprises almost everyone. The fuel you choose matters, but not in the way you think. The octane rating refers to the fuel's resistance to pre-ignition, not its energy content. Premium gasoline does not give you better mileage unless your engine specifically requires it. If your car is designed for regular 87 octane, putting in 91 or 93 octane does absolutely nothing except empty your bank account faster. The engine cannot extract more energy from it. You are paying an extra 30 to 50 cents per gallon for zero benefit. However, the reverse is dangerous. If your car requires premium and you run regular, the engine will knock, lose power, and potentially suffer damage. Check your owner's manual. If it says premium required, use premium. If it says premium recommended, you can safely use regular with minimal performance loss. But never pay extra thinking you are treating your engine to something special when it does not need it. Now here is where things get really interesting. The condition of your fuel system directly affects how efficiently your engine burns gasoline. Over time, fuel injectors develop deposits that disrupt their spray pattern. Instead of a fine mist that burns completely, you get uneven streams that leave droplets unburned. Those droplets become carbon buildup in your combustion chamber and wasted fuel out your exhaust. The solution is not necessarily expensive injector cleaning services, although those can help on severely neglected vehicles. For most drivers, running a quality fuel system cleaner through your tank every 3,000 to 5,000 miles keeps injectors clean and combustion efficient. I am not talking about miracle products with outrageous claims. I mean established formulas from brands like Chevron Techron, Redline, or Gumut. One bottle costs around $10 to $15 and treats a full tank. The improvement in fuel economy typically covers that cost within a few hundred miles, and the long-term protection prevents far more expensive problems down the road. Something else that kills fuel economy is excess weight. Every 100 pounds of extra cargo in your vehicle costs you approximately 1 to 2% in fuel efficiency. That might not seem significant until you look at what most people carry around. Golf clubs that haven't been used in 3 months, boxes from that move 2 years ago, emergency supplies that have turned into permanent supplies, a roof rack with nothing on it, creating drag even when empty. I once helped a friend clean out his SUV, and we removed over 200 pounds of accumulated junk. His fuel economy improved noticeably on his very next tank. The physics are simple. It takes energy to move mass, and your engine provides that energy by burning fuel. Less mass means less fuel needed. Go clean out your trunk this weekend. Your gas gauge will thank you. Here is a trick that professional hypermilers use but regular drivers overlook. Minimize idling. Modern fuel-injected engines do not need to warm up by sitting and idling. That is a leftover habit from carburetor days. When your car sits idling, it gets 0 miles per gallon while still consuming fuel. If you are going to be stationary for more than 30 seconds, turning off the engine actually saves fuel compared to letting it idle. Many newer vehicles have automatic start-stop systems for exactly this reason. The restart uses less fuel than idling for even a brief period. This does not apply to situations where you need climate control or where frequent restarts would be impractical. But sitting in a parking lot waiting for someone with the engine running, that is pure waste. 5 minutes of idling burns roughly the same fuel as driving a mile. Think about that next time you are tempted to leave the car running while you grab a coffee. Your driving route also affects fuel consumption more than most people realize. Highways are almost always more fuel efficient than city streets, even if the distance is slightly longer. Stop-and-go traffic murders fuel economy because accelerating from a standstill is the least efficient thing an engine does. If you can take a route that is 2 miles longer but keeps you moving at a steady pace, you will often use less fuel than fighting through traffic on the shorter path. Navigation apps now offer eco-friendly routing options that factor in traffic lights, stops, and terrain. Use them. The few extra minutes might save you a surprising amount of fuel over time. Finally, and this might be the most important point of all, maintain your engine properly. A well-tuned engine is an efficient engine. Spark plugs that are worn fire inconsistently and cause incomplete combustion. Oxygen sensors that are degraded send incorrect readings to the computer and throw off the fuel mixture. Dirty throttle bodies restrict airflow. Clogged PCV valves create pressure problems. Each of these issues individually might only cost you a few percent in efficiency, but stacked together on a neglected vehicle, you are easily burning 20 to 30% more fuel than necessary. Regular maintenance is not just about preventing breakdowns. It is about keeping every component in the condition it needs to be for optimal combustion. The secret that the fleet manager shared with me was not really a secret at all. It was awareness. Understanding that fuel efficiency is not determined by some magical engine technology or expensive modifications, but by dozens of small factors that every driver can control. Things like tire pressure, air filters, acceleration habits, cruise control, fuel choice, system cleanliness, weight management, idle reduction, route selection, and basic maintenance. None of these require special tools or mechanical expertise. They just require paying attention. I have applied every one of these principles to my own driving over the years, and the results speak for themselves. On vehicles where I expected to get 25 miles per gallon, I consistently see 30 miles per gallon or better. That is not a small difference. Over the life of a car, that is thousands of dollars saved, and the only investment was knowledge. Now you have that same knowledge. The question is whether you will use it. drop a comment and tell me which of these tricks you are going to try first. Hit like and subscribe because here we share the information that actually saves you money. Your engine is ready to run cheaper. Now it is your turn to let it.